Hey, how's it going? Please look at my signs, my disclaimer notices. Okay. So, I have some cards, and I started to write something because I came across something, I think it was yesterday, might have been the day before, so Friday. And I don't even remember what I was watching now. I think it might have been TMZ. And somebody made a joke about, it must have been TMZ, because I think they were talking about his Nazi merch that he's like trying to put out. I know I should have done this before I started. Okay, just, I'm wrinkled. Get over it. So, somebody came out with Hitler, yay, and Jesus. And I don't remember the context of what they were saying, but that little phrase there leapt out at me, so I just kind of wrote it down. And I was thinking about it, like, what one of these things is not like the other kind of situation. And I was like, okay, so why is that significant though? And I've just been coming across personally a lot of themes about kind of what's happening in the United States, where like it's more of a corporatocracy and autocracy and oligarchy and everything other than a democratic government that at least we used to strive for and say. I mean, we kind of were pointed in that general direction, and now it's down to, for some reason, all these guys that work to be in the legislative houses just folding like wet tissue to be all, yes, whatever you say is the way, and just like forget the whole system that we've had for what, how long has it been? Almost 200 years? Has it been 200 years? I don't know. But it's everywhere. It's not even so much that it's current content that you're seeing this in. It's just kind of always been the theme. Like, they can't let you forget it. The rich and the powerful run things in front of the scenes, behind the scenes. And now, I mean, just in my lifetime, that's gone through an evolution where they were not as... I mean, I think they would have said when I was a kid they weren't as crass, and these people lack finesse and nuance and education and morals and I don't know the word for not lying, verisimilitude. I think that's it. But yeah, it's like they're all kind of deficient on those counts, but they got a whole lot of hate going on and a whole lot of scorn and not a bit of empathy, like not a drop. So that kind of, I feel like, vibe is like in the air. And I am aware that there was the 5150, the demonstrations, the gigantic, oh my God, so big, I'm so proud of us. I mean, filling up streets, blocks and blocks and blocks. Yay, us, finally. I was worried for a while. Still worried about those legislative people though. Like, you gotta see this is not gonna end well for any of you guys that are like willingly and actively participating in this crap we got going right now with this president. So yeah, I started thinking about those three words and those three people, and because I was thinking of the other thing I was just talking about with like the corporate sort of overlords, and how that is just like, yeah, go ahead. Like the government is just, oh yeah, we'll just forget what we were supposed to be doing, that we swore on Bibles and things that they were there to do, and they're just like, we want to do this now because it suits us. It's more advantageous. It's a profit thing, and you can't have it. It's ours, and it's like, so you guys are getting paid by us with the tax money, and you guys act like that's not your paycheck, but it is. Granted, I am no longer a member of that class so much. I mean, sales tax, but I'm basically indigent and dependent on the government, so on the social safety net, which I'm sure you're aware, this same class of corporate people hate it. Like, you're sick and you can't work. We're going to plug your brain into a Neuralink and get some hours out of you. We have to pay to support you and, medicate you and have people change your bags. We're going to get some work out of you. Yeah, I just do not at all aspire to be like that. Like, this is what success, the model of success is now. But there are plenty of takers, not even anywhere near. I mean, these people are like, they are grossly rich. It's gross how rich they are, and it's damaging to everything around them. Like, they say live within your means. Well, when they live in their means, it's taking a crap on everything sort of in the succeeding, or not succeeding, but the brackets below, Yeah, they crap on us, to be clear. So, nobody wants that kind of trickle down. I think that's always been clear. But the three, Hitler, Kanye, and Jesus, well, Hitler, I don't know that he, well, I mean, I guess he wanted riches because he certainly made sure all of the people from all of the other countries that he could get their hands on of their riches, he made sure they took it. So, but and then he lived fabulously because he like hostily took over people's castles and villas and things. I don't have a high opinion of him. I mean, pretty much everything he wanted to do was just like, I hate people, I want to do the worst possible things to them. But he had to have help, so, but I have a feeling, I know he didn't trust him, like, really, I think he was paranoid. But I feel like we're seeing something similar in the United States with the current administration, and God knows that dude loves Hitler, and Kanye loves Hitler and loves him, so just a bunch of rotten peas in a pod. Let's just say their intentions are just ill all the way around. Jesus is Jesus, I think. I don't think he falls into any of that category that they do. Like, as far as I know about the guy, he was against it. Like, that was not what he was, that was not his focus. That was not what he was talking about. The opposite, definitely. Like, not hate, love. He's all about love. And people are like, like, you can't even talk about it. Forget unconditional love. Like, what, love Trumpers? After they've been spending God knows how long talking about, I can't be friends with you, I hate you. That's not necessary. You don't see those people all the time. I feel like that's a way overcompensating for something that I just think we all need to have some deep breaths and calm down about this stuff. But Hitler and Ye do have a certain tone that Jesus does not, just to be clear. But why would they be together? Well, Kanye's like Mr. Modern Billionaire guy. Although I don't know how that is measured exactly, because people have billions one day and then the stock market sneezes and the next day they have 50 bucks. So is it like, do you actually have it, or is it like liquid idea money or something? Because that is a weird thing. But I know Mr. Ye is very business minded. Like, he's all about sell, sell, sell all the time. And well, he says he's a genius, so I guess he's a genius. But he does all kinds of, explores all kinds of areas. Like, he did fashion, and I guess he did pretty well in fashion, but I was not impressed. I don't wear that kind of stuff anyway, though. And the thing about him that is notable, there are many things notable about the guy. Like, when he first came along, if you will remember, unless you were in, where is he from, Chicago, right? If you were not living in Chicago, you may not have been familiar with him. If you were not into hip-hop, you probably would not have been familiar with him at all, like me. If not for MTV, I probably would not know about him at all. Although his first hit, Behind the Wire, when that came out on the radio, it was everywhere. I saw it on the MTV. I heard it out of the windows in the cars. Like, it was big. I mean, it was catchy. I liked it. And so, a couple of things about these three people. I'm just gonna let that just marinate, what I just said about Kanye and the Behind the Wire. Oh, okay, but before I move on, it's important that you remember that Behind the Wire is a song that he recorded and wrote after he was in a really, really, really bad car accident, and his jaw had been shattered and it had been wired shut. So he was behind the wire. His mouth was, but he still, sang, rapped. I guess he was just rapping at that point, that song. And then he may have been known before that as a producer, like a hip-hop producer, and he's very talented at that. And so he did that for his song, that song. Like, I think he just did it all, except for, like, the musician stuff. Such as it was, I don't know. I didn't make a whole examination of it. I know there's samples in it, so I don't know. Is there like a backing band or just overlapping tracks? I don't know. So, there, pin that, okay? So the other thing I was thinking about this, because at the same time, other things were making me think of this other thing, which was I had watched this show called The Reagans. It was, I don't know, what do you call like a drama / documentary? There's probably a word for it, but I think that's what it was. Wait. It was a documentary. I'm getting mixed up because there was like a biopic at the same time that came out. I don't think I saw that though, actually. Anyway, so yes, this was a documentary. And it was called The Reagans, and it covered very lightly like his origin story and his governorship of California, and then his acting career. Like, that's all kind of like, I think it's kind of like everybody knows, or they assume everybody knows, but I don't know if everybody knew that stuff when he was the governor or the president. I was aware of those things about him, but I couldn't tell you details. I tried to watch one of his early movies, and boy, was it bad. I was like, forget this. So, in this movie, or documentary, there's a part where they're talking to a tour guide person And I remember that there was a tour guide person, and then there was this other lady, and she may have also been a tour guide. Or she like had worked with presidents, and that's why she was there. Because I think she was a fixture, like at the White House through like several administrations. And so anyway, this second lady is a psychic. And so she was saying that she was just talking about how like the Lincoln bedroom is frequently, you can see like Lincoln in there or whatever. Or it's just, she was just saying that it was active and people do see stuff and see him and that. And she said, oh, he loves it. He loves the visitors and all of that. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. Lincoln loves it. And she said he loved the Reagans. Ronald Reagan was his favorite president. And I was like, why? Why would you say that? And here's the thing, like, I learned about Lincoln, obviously, when I was a kid in elementary school. And then as the years went on, I actually learned about Lincoln. They, like, didn't have, like, the crayon washed child version with no information, wrong information. They just tell you. They might as well have just been telling you Lincoln was the Easter Bunny. They would do it so badly, like, in retrospect. So yeah, later on when you grow up and you like start researching stuff on your own, then you learn more about Lincoln. And the thing is that yeah, Lincoln like stopped the slavery. Who? What was that? He stopped the slavery, but it wasn't because he was we gotta save the black people. I mean, it really, I think that was probably the lowest of priorities there. But I do think that it was, on some level, a humane thing. And, like, who cares? I'm just glad he did it. But, just to be clear, like, it wasn't, like, that cartoon easy of a situation that was happening. Like, the way that we project on him may not at all have been the man that he actually was, Because I think back then you could still be... Have you ever read, like, Huck Finn by Tom Sawyer? Is that the one where the boy runs away and he's on the raft with Nigger Jim? There was a time when the niggers were around, and so this would have been well, forget that. I'm just saying, as an example, like there was a period where that's how like people just talked about black people that way. And then later on, when people are free and it's like the civil rights era in the 60s, it's like modern times. Like, particularly, I feel like you would see this in the South, where, like, okay, you can go into the places and you can use the water fountains and whatever, but we still really feel exactly the same way about you as you did before when you were slaves. Like, and I often feel like they're so mad they're like blaming the black people, and the black people had no power then when they were slaves, like somebody else. Hi, did you not hear the whole rest of the story? Other people did all of that. Abolitionists white, Lincoln white, the North majority white. It's like, so it's this weird dynamic though. And so it's like this tolerance is there, and I feel like there was somewhere in between that, probably more toward the slavery attitude about it that Lincoln had, but the freeing of the slaves was more of a, I just think he thought it was just like it wouldn't go, it didn't have a good future if it went on, like, like Haiti's slaves kicked all the people that tried to enslave them and put them on plantations. They kicked them out. They had a rebellion. It was bloody, and the United States like did not want that to happen here. So I'm not sure on the times about like Lincoln and the Haiti thing, but I think that he had enough foresight to realize that, like, when I said it wouldn't have a good end, that's the kind of thing I meant. And he's like, I don't want them to rebel and take over or whatever. Like, he just, I think, saw that it would have been a massacre for on both, like, everybody. It just would have been bad. And they had just been through the Civil War, so can we be done with it already? And, no. Still today, it's lingering. So, that... Yeah. Okay, so, yeah. So I was aware of that about Lincoln. Like, maybe it wasn't, like, exactly how we think. And then the lady was saying, remember, that he liked Reagan. It was his favorite president. And I was like, why? Because of the things that, like, when he was governor, so many women were put in, like, insane asylums. And then, like, up until, like, the time that he was governor. And then, at some point, I think he served 2 terms. And then, at some point, at the latter part of his service, he began closing the insane asylums, which was probably on a level, like, really good at a lot of places, but there didn't need to be none, like, still, I think, I'm not sure, I haven't lived in California for a long time, so I'm not real sure what the situation is, but it's not like we are dotted with mental health centers on every corner like Starbucks where I'm living now either, so yeah, we gotta work I think we gotta work on that. But here's the thing, after I had watched that, I was meditating later, and because I was still just confounded. I was like, why? He was Reagan just smarmy, condescending, and then, like, he served 2 terms, and a lot of it, he wasn't, like, everybody wasn't at home upstairs in the noggin. And in that documentary, there is a press conference, and Nancy, I swear Nancy was the president probably for many years, because you notice how much she was always there toward the end, like wherever he was, she was always there, or he just wasn't there at all sometimes. And I don't know, like, he was at home having some kind of extreme symptoms or something, but she had her finger on the pulse of things. She was very instrumental to a lot of what he did. So what I'm building up to is, at this press conference, he's like a little foggy, like his consciousness, his attention is not, you can tell he's struggling to, like, pay attention. But it's not just pay attention, it's like comprehend what's happening and you're who now kind of look on his face. Like, you could tell he was just, like, phasing in and out of lucidity. And so he's asked the question, and he says, like, 2 words and trails off, and then Nancy, not really even under her breath, so I don't know how long it had been going on, but I guess the reporters were friendly, and she just felt, I mean, it was a television record. I don't know what she was thinking, but he said, like, 2 words and trailed off, and she said the next part of the answer, which, I mean, I don't know if they discussed it or, but here's why. This is why I have this theory that it was like her running the show a lot in his stead toward the end, because he was just dotty. He just wasn't there for it. I mean, he was incapable. I mean, read up if you want to know about him, Ronald Reagan. So that's not new. That's happened many times in the government, where I think when one guy was even actually dead for a like weekend with Bernie at the White House. But there have been several presidents that have been really bad health, like can't even wake up and talk to you bad, and it's been like the wife in the cabinet that ran things, and one of them was Roosevelt, I believe. So anyway, later, I was meditating, but I had been kind of bothered, like, why did he like them? They're terrible. He did, not them, him, because, anyway, Reagan, why did he like them? I just couldn't, it didn't compute. I was so mad. But so later I'm meditating, and then I see his head, Lincoln's face, but it's just his head, and it was so big. It was like this big compared to mine. That's what it looked like, so big. And he's just looking at me, and he didn't say anything. But I mean, not out loud. In my head, I knew that he was saying, "You want to know why I liked him?" And I'm like, yes. So basically, he made me know that all of the, like, his service involved all of the stuff he did that we find reprehensible today, that is left behind in his wake for us to respond to, preferably not to be all, "You're reprehensible." But, you know, he did do kind of, like, terrible things to people, and I think he was also used a lot. Like, I don't think he was, I guess he was bright enough, but I don't think maybe he was politically smart at first. And I don't know that he ever got that. I think he just had that thing like Trump has with the insults. I think that he was, like, he had a sense of humor, actually, and he was, like, witty. That is the word. He was witty. And he was quick until he wasn't. But, you know, that happens to all of us, or a lot of us. We become infirm. I don't blame him for that. So, but he did have, like, a little bit of meanness, I think. And one thing that I always have looked for once I got to be a certain age was, how racist is this white person that I'm looking at? And you couldn't always tell who was racist, because you don't always want to find out that some person you super liked for years is all, "I hate black people, I hate niggers." Then you just go, "Damn it." Well, now you took all the fun out of it. But anyway, so, you know, he was responsible for a lot of policies that were, oh, so I didn't finish what I was going to say about him. I once I got to a certain age, I began to look and see how racist is this person, and I don't, still to this day, don't remember seeing anything about him being overtly racist, like in his past or like ever. So I mean, that's cool. I think he was, though. But anyway, his policies did some kind of awful stuff, and it's not, I mean, there's work still needs to be done in regard to what he left for us. And so, but that's the thing. That is kind of why we're here. We're here to, like, be in service, to, you know, do the best as we can, and do better than we have if we haven't done well. You know, being, like, basically nice to each other and helping each other. Like, that's, it's like the love thing. It's like, it's so hard to talk about, and you get all feelings, and people think this, and then you think that, and it's just is all wacky. We know, we get it, we all know, but it's like, because we're like that way, like so iffy and don't want to touch it, I feel like it's so much easier to swing the other way and be all kinds of graduating downwardly negative from nice and loving. So I guess that's a spectrum too, among other things. So that's what I started thinking must be up with the Kanye and Hitler thing. I mean, kind of, but then there's like, nope, I know that's not it. That's not why that struck you. And then so finally, earlier today, I was like, all right, I had written it down and didn't really like go any further with it. I might, after I'm done here, since I've talked it out a little bit, it'll help my brain like do something with it, because I think there's something there. And if it's halfway decent, I'll post a link and post it on my other platforms that I write on, have my writing on. And yeah, that just petered out. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, right. So then all of a sudden it struck me. I was like, well, Kanye acts kind of crazy, and we all kind of know that sort of pay attention to pop culture, and he's been like on a tear. Like he was married and he ran that girl off, but he was walking around with her like all but naked in the streets, and it just looked and felt bad. And they were both like, oh yeah, it's what we want. Or she actually, who knows what she thought, because she didn't ever say anything. And that also looked like he wasn't letting her talk. But then you find out a little bit more about her, and you understand, like, she doesn't have to be afraid of him. In fact, he should be afraid of her family and shouldn't be messing around like that. And her family made it clear, like, it was not, like, you should stop. It was kind of, but I think they were trying to be nice because there's, like, she loved him or whatever. And then she finally left him. And I guess she left him because, according to TMZ, I guess it was the tweets. But the tweets have been, like, pretty Nazi and nasty and just all around horrible. And so he seems to have mental illness. He says he was falsely diagnosed as bipolar. I'm really not, I don't know how to tell, but he seems like he could be bipolar. I have met other people that are bipolar, but they took their medicine. He doesn't like to take his. And I think he has said that I don't know, he says different stuff. He has said that he takes it, and he has said that he is bipolar, and that he does have some sort of mental challenge, whatever, and he says all kinds of different stuff all the time, so I don't know. But he acts crazy, and I don't mean it that, like, in crazy insane. I mean, he just acts like all over the place, like, he's crazy. And so I thought, I want to, like, look in his head in my mind and see, like, what is up in there. And not that I know what I'm looking for, I've never done that before. And then when I looked in there, something in my brain happened, and it was all blink. It was all head trauma. And I was like, oh my God, do you know this? They said that this happens, they've discovered this with, like, violent criminals, like the ones that are physically violent. A lot of them have had early head trauma in their life. Like, I don't know if it's repeated hard hits, but just a bunch of hard hits. I mean, I guess like concussions, like CTE, because those people end up getting more and more aggressive and crazy and scary, kind of like the way he acts. And I was like, oh my God, behind the wire, his face got smashed really hard in the car accident. He must have that. Like, he whacked his head all hard, and one time, I'm sure he hates this, but one time I was watching TMZ, and he and Kim were coming out of, like, I think it was an underground parking garage or something, where you gotta come up a driveway, but there was a sign, like a big sign, like a stop sign. You can see it says stop on it. It probably had it on both ways so drivers could see it coming in and out. And the TMZ are, like, talking to him, and I forget where he was looking, but he wasn't looking right in front of where he was walking, and whacked his head. He hit his head. See how it sounded like he hit his head pretty hard on that sign. And I was like, that ain't good if your head is already messed up from whacking it too hard. Like, doing it repeatedly just makes it worse, I would think. So, that was like, oh, wow. I don't know why that would have to do with the other two people involved there, but now it makes me wonder if Hitler didn't hit his head hard too. Anyway, let's see, what am I doing? How am I on time here? Oh, not bad. Okay, so I'll have some cards. I don't even know what we're talking about here, but I pulled them like yesterday or something, so here is the card of, well, it's, I'll read it. I'll read it and then I'll talk about it. Love is the bridge between you and everything. Connection, oneness, finding your way forward. Love is the bridge. I mean, I think I was just talking about that, so I think we're kind of kind of tuned into this one at least. So they almost look like hands, like a row of hands, like in the abstract, kind of about to high five. But this represents the bridge. It's interesting. I guess the road is the black part there, underneath the two sides, but they're not quite meeting. And it is talking about connection and oneness, and love being the bridge. And then the last thing it says on here is finding your way forward. Do you remember I've been mentioning like love is like it's like we're so scared of it, but it's like it's the last thing that's gonna hurt us. Like, don't think about your heartaches. I don't mean that kind of love. That's not what unconditional love is. That's not what you give to a stranger. That's not what you give to your neighbor. Well, the unconditional love is what you give to a stranger and a neighbor. What you have in your home under your roof, or for your family, those are different. It comes in all facets, all flavors. So, yeah, love is the bridge between you and everything. And I guess I keep talking about it, so it seems like it must be something we need to be working on. Okay, here's the next card. I always look at this as a tree, but I also realize that it too could be like a road. Where is my indicator? There it is. It's like a perspective thing. It's a switchback road, like the most crookedest road in wherever this is, but the further you go, the smaller it gets, just like a road. So, the wound is the place where the light enters. Healing, blessings, strength to carry on. So, a wound, there is a road to healing, depending on the severity of the wound. But since we were talking about the car accident and the shattered jaw and the wired shut, those injuries take a long time to knit and heal when you shatter a bone. And, it goes from being very painful at the start, and you have to eat through there too. You can't be intravenous once I guess you could. You could be on, you have to be on a liquid diet. Your jaw is wired together, and you can't do nothing with it, or you can't do anything with it until it's done healing. And so, but it's progressive. It goes from being really painful and tender, and you can't even move it and talk. This guy got to almost to the end of the road, and was able to get a song through there, a hit song through there. So the light got in that wound of his, and seriously, the light that it filled him with creativity to get something from this traumatic injury. Wow, very beneficial financially. He had to feel good as an artist. I mean, what an achievement. And I'm not a fan of the guy for the stuff that he says, but maybe this is where the Jesus part comes in. You know, like, he would preach, like, literally, I think, to figure out how to have unconditional love for people. And then he would demonstrate it by being with everybody, anybody and everybody, like leper, sex worker, or whatever. Like, I don't know, I think a lot of accusations were thrown around about people. People were not as they were described. But anyway, you know, like the lower class people that the rich people don't want to be around. They don't want to have anything to do with the unwashed and the needy and the people you got to care about. Like, they hate that. So this is the next card. Big old hearts. And a couple of little babies. So this card reads, your heart is an ocean. Find yourself in its hidden depths. Life journey, finding purpose, true love. Well, since we're on the subject of love and people not having empathy and or unconditional love for other people, we get very self-centered and we get paranoid and we get selfish because I think that's a fear thing, you know, like whatever it is that you're hoarding, physical, theoretical, mental, like whatever it is, you're hoarding it. That's not right. Like, you know, if you love something, let it go, let it be free, and if it loves you back, it will come back to you. You have to give it the room to do that. You have to let people make their own decisions about things too, you know. So you can talk and talk and talk about stuff, and then people will hear you and listen to you for a while, and then it's kind of like they're not listening. They can't do it anymore. But for whatever reason, what I'm trying to get at is the love thing that makes us all skittish and giddy and weird is, well, I mean, I feel like it's fear. And it's so weird. It's like, it's so easy to get mad and hold a grudge and find something wrong with people. For a lot of us, not everyone is that way. But like, did I say it's hard for us to do that? No, I don't think it is hard at all. I think it's disgustingly easy, actually, that we're able to like have all these judgments on each other and find things wrong with each other. That there might be things that are wrong with ourselves, and we're out here like, you know, you have doll hair. Well, so do you. What? I don't know, like we just forget ourselves or something. Like I think we all have heard the thing about if something in somebody else just makes us crazy or we hate it or whatever, we are seeing the thing about ourselves in another person, and that's why we're all mad at them. But we shouldn't be mad at them because it's our thing that they just happen to be reflecting back at us. Like, it's not them and their thing, it's an us problem. So that I think is why love is like so hard. But once you give into it, it's like, what was I thinking? Like anything else, my gosh, use moderation. There is definitely some sort of dangers as far as like, well, I mean, I guess there's a spectrum there too, because you could just have like feelings, and then you have people that don't know how to let go and blow things all out of proportion and become dangerous. So we don't want to do that. that's too extreme. It's too extreme for me. Anyway, so your heart is an ocean. That's where you have to start if you're going to do the love for other people or the unconditional love. You do have to start with yourself. And my God, that's got to be the easiest place to start, because no one has to see it. It can be all quiet inside your head, in your body, in your house, in the privacy of your own home. No one has to know. So it's like a great place to start. And the more of it that you can apply to your life, like the love to yourself, to a pet, to anything, just like anything else, like practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And it's one of those things that the more you do it, the more you want to do it. And again, not the romantic kind necessarily, but all of the other kinds are beneficial, because it's a give and receive situation. Not that you're like looking for that, but if you do something nice for people, they appreciate it. So it's reciprocal. I know it's like the word all of a sudden, but it's operative here. So find yourself in your hidden depths, love yourself, and then, life journey, finding purpose. Well, along the way, as you get better at it, you get better at it along the way. And you find when you get better at it, I feel like that's finding your purpose. And true love, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be the romantic kind, but once you let it in, it, like, everything changes, and you begin to love everything. Okay, so here's some nice oil lamps, I think, like you would find in a pyramid or something, an Egyptian pyramid. Be patient be patient where you sit in the dark. The dawn is coming. Wow, I mean, this too shall pass. Your future is bright. Okay, I'm just going to say, this is talking about the situation, probably not just in the United States, but that is where I'm going to stick to. And it feels dark right now. People are afraid. People are paranoid. People are suffering. It's not just an abstract thought anymore. It's really happening in a lot of ways, especially with immigration and disemploying federal people. I don't know. I mean, I can think of at least one reason, or three reasons, are our new allies, who I think are still actually our enemies, except our president just hasn't picked up on that yet. Anyway, we're in the dark, okay? But we know that, and there's been some weeks since that election, like even before, from the left, people were like, oh my God, no, we have to... Well, not everyone. Voters. I don't know about elected officials. Their attitude, it took a little while to catch fire. But I also think they were like, what the hell can we do, like, right now? But they'll figure it out. Like, the filibuster was great, but they need to actually, like, start working on services for the constituency. And, if federal programs are shut down, well, they need to, like, help people figure out how to find replacements for that stuff. Like, that's what they could be doing. Why am I having to tell them that? They have access to all the resource information. I know a lot of it has gone away, but not all. They haven't killed off everything yet. Hurry up, do stuff. But yes, they are starting, and the people, like I already talked about, the protests that were in all 50 states, and it sounds like everywhere they had them, they were just ridiculously large, so that is good. That is impactful. And just think if everybody converged all the capital like those Jan 6ers did, but the way that they did it with these protests where there's no bad cop action, no people got hurt, like it was just beautiful, perfectly done. So, as this says, the dawn is coming, because this too shall pass. And I don't think it's gonna all like get fixed tomorrow. I think we still have a little bit of darkness to find our way through with the lamps. We may not. The power grid may be shut off. I hope you have your prepper DIY lamp situation, your candles and such. But all things that, get messed up can be repaired. I think we got some real mess coming, but you know what? It's going to be good. I mean, the outcome is going to be good. The future is bright. Here's the last card. What does that say? 50. Oh, yeah. So, it reads, It is your light that lights the world. Self-reliance, brilliant ideas, time to shine. Well, it feels like I just said that. But we will, though, because all of the messy stuff that's happening right now is going to result in a lot of personnel. Sorry about that. It's going to result in a lot of personnel changes and departmental procedural changes. So that's good. I mean, that all needs to happen. I don't think that Doge has done a damn thing to help Social Security, but I don't think that was ever their aim. No matter what came out of Elon Musk's mouth, that was never their aim. Because with what they did, that is what they meant to do. And they still want to do it. Their motives are unclear. It's like, okay, what the hell are you going to do with my medical information? How is that worth anything? But I'm sure some asshole out there has found some way to profit off of your private... Well, how can I forget? The woman who they stole her gene, I can't remember what the disease was, but they've been profiting off of this woman's, like, physiological sample for years to make, like, medications and study illnesses related. I know the woman's last name was Lax, Lacks. Can't remember the first name, can't remember what she died of, but I do know that they had, like, tissue or something from her that, like I said, has been in, like, the medical research community for years. And do you think they paid those people, her family, because she didn't make it? No. And in fact, they didn't even know for a long time that had happened with her remains. So, yeah, that's really messed up. And why did I start talking about that? I don't know, it had something to do with, like, being self-sufficient and moving forward. But like I said, there's a lot of crazy weather, and that may cause, like, interruptions to service for power, and it's not gonna be forever. It'll be temporary, and then we'll all move on. So I just don't know how fast that's all going to take place, but it's good to know, like, we don't have to be in despair. Like, listen, other places have had revolutions, and it's been way worse. The immigration stuff, or the, how do you call it, the deportation stuff, I should say, is not good. Everything that's happening, though, is a demonstration for all of us, some more intensely because they're closer to it, so that's going to have different effects on people. But everything that happens is something for us to look at and appreciate, even as we're horrified and go, this is an experience that I better make the best of it. I mean, might as well while I'm here, because that is actually why we're here. It is why we're here, to have the experiences and go through all of the emotions and feel the feels and not get stuck in emotional cul-de-sacs and start, like, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to, you can't say like one thing is going to happen and then the other thing shouldn't. I think whatever happens, it all has to happen. It's just kind of hard not to be all, I don't want that to happen. But you can't get you can't get in the way of that either, because everything does happen for a reason. It's really infuriating, but it does, because the stuff has to happen to multiple people. One happening can happen to multiples, and then things happen outwardly from there, and so on and so on and so on. It's exponential. I think I'm done. Thank you and good night.